What's up, gamers? It's your girl, Lady Pelvic with Pelvic Gaming, and today we're talking about one of my favorite series of all time, and that is .hack GU Last Recode on Steam and on PlayStation 4, which is what I played it on. I'm a huge .hack fan. I played this and the original .hack games back on the PlayStation 2. I've seen all of .hack Sign, I've seen all .hack Legend of the Twilight, I have the manga for that, I have action figures. The only thing I didn't really get into is the card game. So you could trust I know what I'm talking about. I love this series. I've also watched .hack Roots, which is a prequel to this. Don't watch it, it's so fucking boring. So before we begin, it's important to know I'll be reviewing the entire package, baby, volume 1 through 4. So, let's talk some .hack. Now, .hack GU comes after the events of .hack Roots, the anime, and even further back is .hack Sign and the original .hack games. No, you don't have to watch or play the previous games or anime to understand this, but you will pick up on a shit ton of goodies if you do. Before starting, you have the option to play normally, or cheat mode, which starts you with the best weapons in the game, just to go through the story. GU follows our protagonist Haseo's first steps into the MMO phenomenon, The World R2, meaning the second version of the game. The world is faced with the problem of PKs, or player killers, and PKKers, player killer killers. People pretending to help out noobs and slaughter them when they're deep enough into a dungeon, stealing their gear, or maybe just for fun. Haseo falls victim to this, and 8 months later he becomes a notorious PKKer, now making a name for himself as the Terror of Death. While handling PKers, he's on the hunt for a legendary PKer, known as Tri-Edge. Whoever Tri-Edge kills becomes a lost one, someone whose real body gets put into a coma. Haseo does get his wish and confronts the monstrous being, but not getting the ending he envisioned. He is back to level 1. The entire first volume is centered around the arena, all while looking for clues on Tri-Edge, rebuilding your character's strength, and being roped into a low-key guild known as GU, investigating the strange occurrences in the world. There is a requirement for being a member of GU though. It is being an epitaph user, the ability to wield an avatar, which I'll come back to later. With your avatar, you'll be able to data drain the mysterious phenomenon known as Ida, enhancing darkness in the hearts of players all over the world. Haseo continues meeting lively characters who might be more than what they seem and developing strong bonds. Volume 2 is more personal and I think is more about characters and big reveals. Volume 3 is more closure to the Ida issue. Volume 4 is a small fan servicey add-on to wrap up specific character stories. It's important to note you can start at any volume, as it does a great job of recapping the events of previous games. I can't say the story is groundbreaking, but it's good. I enjoyed it, I loved it. It has characters with like stereotypical anime archetypes. Plus I'm a sucker for real world to digital world isekai genre. By the way, .hack was hit before isekai was cool. One thing .hack GU suffers from the entire way is pacing. Oh my god, it is the most annoying thing ever. After any event, it's
log out and check my email or something. Log out and try to get some information on the arena. Guess I'll go check my email or something.
You check your email. The sender says, go here, we need to talk, get a little story, go to the next area, check your mail, repeat. And every time you have to check your mail, you have to log out of the world, then log back into the world, and to make matters worse, there is short mail, which is a character chatting with you without having to check your damn email. I'm not exaggerating, it is awful. I swear the devs only did this to make the game seem a little longer than it actually is. You can easily beat each volume 1 through 3 under 20 hours, if you know what you're doing. And volume 4 is a small closure story less than 3 hours. After you complete a volume in the series, you're able to transfer your data, so character levels, items, and experience. If you start in the middle of a volume, your character will be leveled accordingly. Note, however, some features in previous games won't be available in later volumes, so it's important to do everything in that volume before moving on. A unique thing about this collection is there's a parody mode. It takes certain cutscenes in the game with entirely different voice acting. Some were misses, but others were pure gold.
I knew it! There's no bathroom! We gotta get out of here, Haseo! I can't hold it much longer!
Don't panic, Adelie. Most people can hold it longer than they think. Let's just calm down and try to escape.
You're right. It's not like I'm a little kid. Grown-ups just don't have accidents, do they?
I had an accident and it's brown.
Alrighty then. Let's talk gameplay, and for the most part, that stays the same throughout the entire time. There are a few new extra tidbits here and there with each volume. First, you always start at a town in a particular server. This is where you can gather boring kindred quests, talk to townsfolk, trade with townsfolk, manage your guild, shop, travel to dungeons. It all happens here. The first thing you familiarize yourself with is the Chaos Gate. Put in 3 area words that will determine where you're transported to. Higher level areas, you get better items, and of course, harder monsters wander. Lower level is the exact opposite. Areas can have different objectives, like get the treasure at the beast statue, or fight a big boss. While in an area, you'll see many things. A battle area, where an NPC is getting attacked by monsters or another NPC. Save them and be rewarded. Sometimes you'll find bounty PKs. You'll run into lucky or unlucky animals, and they'll grant you some of their karma.
I understand. You're very fast. As a result, I give you this.
And unlucky animals.
Hey there, you adventurers! You'd better listen up and listen good. This here area is my territory. You got that? Mine and nobody else's. You're trespassing. Anyone who comes here without my permission will be cursed until the day they die.
Chim-chims are little guys who ooze steam. Kick and collect them to open steam-powered doors, switches, and mech grunties. Of course, you'll find enemies that you can sneak up from behind for a surprise attack. Battling is almost as simple as button mashing, depending on what weapon you're using. As you progress through volumes, Haseo will have different forms that grant different weapons. Twin blades, quick but little damage. Heavy blade, slow but hits hard and is great wearing down enemies' armor. A scythe excels at hitting several enemies. Dual guns to attack with speed and distance. Volume 4 added a new whip sword that is broken as all hell, but that's spoiler territory. Now, your teammates can be guided with strategy to focus on healing or conserve SP. SP is used for skills. The more you use a weapon, the more skills you'll unlock. When an enemy has a green and purple ring around it, you can use You're gonna be hearing that a lot. So, is using the same skill but dealing devastating damage. Performing a successful can fill the morale meter. The morale meter allows for an awakening. Think of it as an all-out team attack. There are various awakenings that help change the tide of battle. Be sure to try them all. So a big critique I have at the end of Volume 4 is you'll have 22 characters to join your party. And despite some of them being epitaph users, you have some duplicate classes. So 2 sword fighters or 2 wizards. And granted, even at their max level, there is a difference in stats, and even if you gave them their best items and enhanced them, I didn't feel there was much of a difference. Once characters were high enough, it didn't matter, in terms of battle, if you took Swordsman 1 or Swordsman 2. They had the same skill set and didn't have any diverse playstyles. At this point, you're just picking your favorite characters. Avatar battles. I admit, it looks a lot cooler than it actually is, but I get hyped for it anyways, damn it. Avatar battles are prompted story fights with Ida, or another avatar. Your avatar reflects Haseo's level. High level Haseo means a stronger avatar. If Haseo is under level, then the avatar will underperform. You have 3 moves, dash, stun, and swing. Dash to dodge, stun to stun, and swing to do massive damage. You'll notice it's hard to get up close, so it's encouraged to deplete their stun meter as quickly as possible as it regenerates. Once you get the boss's health to 0, use the finishing move Data Drain. Take aim and fire. If you don't hit it before the timer runs out, it regains a bit of health and you'll have to try again. A rightful concern people may have is this game grindy? And not at all. You grow levels pretty quickly as long as you go to higher level areas. Plus, characters you don't use gradually level up as you do. I personally love the combat and never found the mindless grinding to be painful. Each volume allows up to 50 levels of growth. Volume 1 max level is 50, Volume 2 100, etc. However, I wish there was a way not to gain experience. In GU, you can easily overlevel. I mean, I've taken out bosses, final bosses, in a few hits. It's seriously a joke. If you're looking for a challenge, do not, under any circumstances, grind. In fact, don't do any side content. On the topic of side content, or side quests, they're very repetitive. Each volume has a Chim Chim side quest, or a quest to place a mod in an area to weaken a strong enemy. And here's the thing. Because it's on the PS4, we could play these games back to back to back, where it felt like, didn't I just do this? Unlike the original releases on the PlayStation 2, we got in pieces. Volume 1 came out October 2006, Volume 2 came out May 2007, and Volume 3 came out September 2007. We had enough time to mellow out, and it felt familiar, but not like we were doing the same thing, even though we were. Dungeons are all randomized, based on the area words you put in, and all dungeons are boring, but quick, and I didn't mind it. Unlike Tales of, where you have to look for the chest or breakable items, in .hack they're all right in front of you, so you simply have to move through the dungeon. In later entries, you're introduced to Adler keys, by a character you wouldn't know unless you watched .hack Roots the anime, which don't, it's boring and it will put you into a coma. Adler keys are used to power up lost weapons in Volume 2. Volume 3, you learn area hacking, which are corrupted holes in the system. Sometimes you're taken to new areas known as an outer dungeon, other times you get items or cheat codes that are used to enhance weapons. You can also customize your motorcycle at a guild, sell things from your guild, and add storage, upgrade. There's a lot of add-ons. Outside of the world, you can read forums to find new area words, play shitty mini card games, or I prefer the in-world mini game, which is riding your motorcycle and hitting goblins and chim-chims, or back on the desktop, send out grunty cards to build your teammates' affection. Higher affection means better trades, higher damage for divine awakenings, and marriage. Oh yes, like any good MMO, you can get married, and .hack GU plays well into that. As the dedicated yaoi fangirl that I am, you best believe I got my happy ending. And so did Haseo in Entrance.
I pledge everything I have to you for as long as I live.
There's a lot to do in the world and a lot to look at, which brings us to the graphics. Now, I didn't notice the difference at first until I saw the PlayStation 4 remake and the original PS2 version side by side. You never realize how blurry and gritty these things are. As a kid, I thought GU was a visual masterpiece. I have to say, they did a great job. Save for the one thing that drove me mad, it bothered me more than it should have, the claw hands. They don't have fingers, and every time I saw that, I just... It's so stupid, I know. What kills me is they corrected this in Volume 4. Look, they have individual digits. And also, while I'm at it, it drove me wild when the characters talked but their mouth didn't even move. I mean, their voices were distinct enough to tell who was talking, but I wasn't a fan of the aesthetic. And you know what's even worse? Sometimes while they're talking, they'll just splice in a quick cutscene to show how expressive the character was trying to be. Mouth and eyes moving, then they go back to the painted on faces, and it felt so random.
What's up?
What's up with you? You don't look so good.
I'm fine. I'm pretty much the same as always.
Alright then.
In Volume 4, they changed up the cutscenes entirely. I felt like I was watching something in 20 frames per second. I mean, I get it's an animation style, but I wasn't a fan. I think I warmed up to it by the end, but overall not happy with this art direction. On a positive note, character designs were okay. So positive, I know. Main characters, or distinct B-list characters, looked awesome. Now, NPCs, I get it, it's an MMO, there's only so many design choices, but for fuck's sake, these people have no imagination. You could barely tell one from the other if it wasn't for their usernames. Or at the very least, don't put two people with the same character model together. Some characters you have in your party are ordinary players, and I haven't seen a lookalike of them. Okay, there's like one exception, but that's because of story. Now, the avatars though, sexy as hell. They did a great job keeping true to their form of the original .hack and upgrading them. Now, aside from cutscenes, the environment and enemies, dull. Once you go through one type of randomly generated dungeon, you've been through all of them. Visually, I don't think anyone can truly lose themselves in the beauty of the world. Finally, the music. Beautiful and aligns perfectly with my tastes. Very relaxing, has a lot of chanting. It's beautiful, keeps true to the same vibes of the original .hack games. It fit the mood. It had fun music, it had sincere music, battle music was great but short-lived since you can kill everything in a few hits after a while. But where the music exceeded was again the Avatar battles. I'm telling you, Avatars is where it's at. And it low-key paid homage to the original 8 phases. My favorite Avatar themes vary, as I truly love them all, and it depends what kind of mood I'm in. And right now, I've been in the mood to listen to Double Prayer, Gore's Avatar theme. Enjoy! I love Dot Hack so much, so that's why I really want to defend it. But if I'm being honest, it's like a 6.5, 7 if I let my nostalgia get the better of me. It's not the greatest game. One, it is short, and it's how they try to prolong it by checking your emails, going back and forth. Was not a great idea. 2, you leveled up so damn fast. It made bosses a laughingstock. And there wasn't even an item or an option to turn off getting experience. The only thing was late in game, you get an item that allows you to walk past monsters. They don't even acknowledge you. So you could just not fight them. But what's the fun in that, as the dungeons were very boring. The repetitive and dull quests, the lack of difference between Wizard A and Wizard B near the end game, when they both were level 150, it didn't matter who you took. They had the same kind of playstyle, same skill set. And this bothered me more than it should have, but the claw hands, I'm so happy they got phalanges in Volume 4, like, how do you... But damn it, I love this game. I love Dot Hack GU. I love the story. It was cool before Isekai was a thing. I love the duality of worlds. I love the characters. I love Haseo. I love Endrance. Together. Forever. I love the ambitious vision of squeezing an MMO into an RPG, and I love the music. GU is very rough around the edges, but I love it regardless. Thanks for watching, and keeping your hands as claws really hurts after a period of time. Thank you so much for watching. My top box is more videos like this, and the bottom box is my Let's Play channel. I actually updated more Danganronpa Let's Play videos. Please be proud of me. Okay, so May 15th was my birthday, and if you wanna help a sister out, I left a link to my Amazon wish list in the description, or consider becoming a patron. Thank you for all your support. Mwah. Sword Art Online sucks.